and there will be wars and rumors of wars. China initiates huge military drills around Taiwan in warning to the island's president. On Monday this week, China launched a large military drill encircling the self-governing island of Taiwan, which Taipei blasted as unreasonable provocation. They sent a stern warning against separatist acts of Taiwan's independence forces. China keeps doing these exercises, and I've said this before, I'm saying it again. Come, now today, boom, surround the island, do their exercises, test the lines, fly over their border points, see how quickly they react. And one of these days, while none of us are paying attention to it because it happens all the time, it's basically a weekly thing, what's there to see? Nothing's going to happen. Boom! Invasion. When you least expect it. It's called strategy, and that is a really clever thing to do. You're testing reaction times the whole time, and when the world least expects it, because it now seems to just be a thing that you're doing and playing with, boom! When everyone wipes their eyes out, you've invaded. You're already in there. Who's going to help? No one's going to help, because no one thought this was for real this time, was it? Watch this space. North Korea claims 1.4 million applied to join the army amidst tensions with the South. In the escalating rhetoric, Pyongyang blames Seoul for drone incursion that brought tense situation to the brink of war. So North Koreans are queuing up to join the military because of tensions with the South. The deeper truth there is they could quite possibly be queuing up to join the military because there's no food. And at least if they're in the military, they're going to get a meal a day, at least. So I would even lean on maybe that's why your numbers are going through the roof, because your people are dying of hunger. North Korea's destruction of inter-Korean roads and railways. South Korea fires warning shots. Tensions are brewing and building to the point where they're now destroying roads and shooting warning shots. North Korea destroyed sections of the inter-Korean roads and railways on its side of the heavily fortified border with South Korea on Tuesday, leading to an immediate military response from Seoul. The South Korean military fired warning shots south of the demarcation line, though no damage was reported on the southern side of the border. Now, my opinion on this. They destroyed the roads that were built way back in the day when they were trying to mend bridges, that's hilarious, and railways between the two countries to get talks and, start developing an agreement and a relationship. So on their side, so on their land, they've destroyed those things now. So why did you need to fire warning shots? They're doing something on their side. They want to destroy those roads and railways, go for it. It's not like it's being used at the moment. But now warning shots were fired too, and it shows you that is how high the tension level is between the two countries. And again, no one's paying attention to it, no one thinks it's anything big, but when we least expect it, preferably after we're gone, something big is going to kick off while everyone is still looking in the other direction. Thousands of North Korean soldiers have deployed to Ukraine. Again, possibly because they'll get 3 square meals a day from the Russians while they do it whilst they're starving at home without food. Thousands of the North Korean soldiers are undergoing intense training with the aim of being deployed to Ukraine, according to a report by the American NGO Institute for the Study of War. The organization indicates that Kim Jong-un's troops are expected to be sent to the front lines by the end of 2024, providing a significant military advantage for Putin. A source within Ukrainian intelligence informed the organization that several thousand soldiers are currently training in Russia. This news comes amidst reports this week that North Korean soldiers were killed by a Ukrainian strike in the Donetsk region. Oh, and of course Zelensky says, very, very angry. Not streaming old Zelensky movies to North Korea anymore. We all knew that North Koreans would be going into this because they are really, really tight with Russia. I mean, they're swapping dogs and cars and things and wine bottles and visiting each other and supporting each other. North Korea is Russia and China's child. And the three of them are very tight. Not forgetting Iran, but just saying in that context. Iran has just halted indirect talks with the US as tensions in the region continue to escalate. They halted their indirect talks with Washington due to escalating regional tension. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said on Sunday as Israel continued to plan its retaliatory strike against his country. Currently, we do not see any ground for these talks until we can get past the current crisis. Whoops, who created the crisis? Yeah, sure, that would be you guys. This was while he was visiting Oman, which has played an intermediary role in the talks. Our position is crystal clear, and we have repeated many times that we do not want war and conflict. We just like throwing all our ballistic missiles in that direction, which just happens to be where the Jews live. Oops. We definitely don't want war and conflict. Although we are fully prepared for it. Not really, because all your stuff misses, blows up, or misses the mark, or doesn't even reach the country. And the minute you've done it, you go into hiding. So I don't think you're fully prepared for it. We think diplomacy should work. We fired at you with multiple missiles and drones to destroy and kill you. And now that it's done, diplomacy should work. How dare you react? Welcome to the madness of the people in leadership right now. Iran nuclear facilities and government branches were struck by massive cyber attacks. Wonder who that could have been. Let's think for a minute. Wow, maybe the Jews? According to the latest reports, the Iran government and the country's nuclear facilities were hit by massive cyber attacks. While there's no information about when this happened and who is behind the attacks, because they can't admit it was Israel, that would be embarrassing. It is said that a lot of important information had been stolen. What kind of information? All the information about your nuclear and oil sites and military bases, so that Israel can plan better exactly how to surgically strike back. As per the local media reports, all three branches of the Iranian government, namely executive, legislature and judiciary, were hit by the massive cyber attacks. Along with the Iran government branches, the country's nuclear facilities were also targeted by the cyber attacks. Information for their missile and mission planning that is lying ahead. Moscow's new ally inspires fear. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Iranian counterpart Masoud Pezeshkian said they had similar positions on a number of international issues amidst the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, as well as the now more than 2.5 years of Russian offenses in Ukraine. We are actively cooperating on the international stage, and our assessments of world events are very similar, Putin told Pezeshkian. Relations with Iran are a priority for us and are developing successfully, he added in his brief broadcast on Russian state television. Persia and Russia and Iran, and they agree on many things, especially on the need to take Israel out. Iran bans pagers, walkie-talkies on planes after the blasts that targeted Hezbollah members. The move comes almost a month since Lebanese terror group members' pagers and walkie-talkies exploded in an attack blamed on Israel. And now you can't get on a plane in Iran with pagers or walkie-talkies or anything, or get into any meetings with them because of the fear inspired by Mossad in their lives. Russia and China pledged to strengthen their military ties, which they do all the time and have been strengthening year after year. Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov arrived in Beijing on Monday for talks with his Chinese counterpart, who called for strengthening military cooperation between the two countries. When meeting with Belousov, Chinese Defense Minister Dong Jun called for the two sides to deepen strategic collaboration and continuously advance military relations. Under the strong leadership of President Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin, China-Russia relations are at an all-time high, serving as a model for major power relations, Dong was quoted. Belousov, in his turn, said that friendly relations between the two leaders play a key role in strengthening strategic ties, according to the Russian news. Obviously, the bear and the dragon are tight. They are really, really close, and they have a common enemy, and they've been doing naval exercises around America. Do you think that is just coincidence? Russian officials claim Ukraine is gearing up to use chemical weapons with the help of the US and NATO. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova claimed the Ukrainian forces are systematically using toxic chemicals against Russian troops and civilians. Zakharova highlighted reports from Russian authorities stating that between July and September this year, NATO countries supplied Ukraine 70 advanced devices for detecting and recording toxic substances, including modern detectors and gas analyzers. According to Russian officials, the forces from Ukraine used chemicals like chlorine, ammonia, ammonium nitrate, and sulfuric acid against the Russian military personnel, civilians, and local officials. The US has in turn accused Russian forces of using hazardous chemicals in Ukraine, including riot control agents like tear gas and chloropicrin, a toxic choking agent last used in World War I. Now, there's a big no-no on chemical warfare that should be in place. Do I believe that they'll adhere to that here at the end of the time of mankind, that they won't resort to chemical warfare on each other with what's happening in the world? No, I don't. I do believe both sides are capable of leaning into that sick and evil part of warfare to achieve their goals, sadly. So, once again, these things are escalating, rising, increasing, building all the time. It is a daily, hourly occurrence at this stage, at this late hour. Please pray for all the civilians and the innocents caught up on all sides. We pray for Russians and Ukrainians. We pray for Israelis and Lebanese and Gazans. We pray for everybody caught up in this chaos in the world right now, and that they may have God moments with Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. God bless. Keep looking up, for the hour is late.